Hi everyone, it's Kerchi. I am almost at my 2-year mark in my fitness journey, so I thought that I would take you guys through what I eat in a whole week. I always see those what I eat in a day videos. I'm on TikTok a lot and I'm exposed to a lot of those videos, but I thought it would be more accurate to do a week, at least for me and my diet. So just a bit of background. I have lost over 70 pounds. I'm almost coming up on my 80-pound weight loss, which is insane. I started in May 2023, so I'm coming up on my 2nd year in a few weeks. And I did it all through calorie deficit and exercise, good old-fashioned eat less, move more. Who knew that that was actually the secret sauce to weight loss? Not only that, but I am a binge eater. And I say am because I always will be. It is not something that you cure or get rid of. It's just something that you manage. So that's something that along my fitness journey, I am learning to manage and live with. I also have a very active lifestyle currently, so I pretty much went from being completely sedentary to very active, which is such a key point in weight loss because at some point you will reach what's called a plateau. Everybody knows what a plateau is, when you've done everything correctly and your weight loss just comes to a stop. And that's when the exercise and additional movement throughout the day comes in. So that's where I'm at currently. I'm still in my calorie deficit. I still haven't reached my goal weight, which at this point isn't a goal weight, but it's more of, do I like how I look? Are there more spots I can reduce? So I'm in kind of the fine sculpting phase, which is fun because it also means I can focus more on problem areas, but not so fun because this is when you start to notice, oh, some things are just genetic and I can't do anything about them, but that will be a separate video. So for this video, this is what I eat in a whole week on a calorie deficit. And my stats are, I am 5 feet, very short, so there's not a whole lot of wiggle room here. And I am currently at 124 pounds. So when I started my weight loss journey, I was at around 200 pounds, give or take. Currently at 124, so as of right now, with my what I eat in a week that I'm about to show you guys, I am losing about a pound a week. So my diet is catered around my very active lifestyle. I am in the gym 4 days a week. I do the Stairmaster 4 days a week, and I get 15,000 steps every single day. So in one of my update videos, I talked about walking 20,000 steps a day, and I've now reduced it to 15,000 steps because I was also incorporating my favorite bridge mix candy every single week. So I was trying to make up for that by walking extra. I've now removed that from my diet and I have reduced my steps to 15,000 steps a day, which is still a lot. Anything over 12,000 steps is considered very active. So I'm good at 15,000. I want to do the extra steps because I can accommodate it in my day. And if I can fit whatever movement I can in my day, I'm going to do that. So my diet is high protein, high fiber. Those are the 2 macros that I focus on, with a little bit of healthy fat and carbs to help fuel my workouts. So first thing in the morning, I have my coffee. So this is after I've woken up, gotten ready, I go downstairs and make my coffee. And I like to do half calf because I'm actually really sensitive to caffeine, particularly caffeine in coffee. Something about it always gives me the jitters. It gives me heart palpitations. So the half calf, it used to do that actually, just a reduced amount. But over time, I've built up a little bit of a tolerance to it. So I'm sticking with a half calf and I'm not going more than this because anything over that will actually start to give me jitters. And in my coffee, I add this Organifi Harmony drink, and this is for hormone support. You can see all the stats on their website. So this just makes coffee taste extra good. I cannot drink black coffee. I don't care if black coffee is the healthiest thing for you. It tastes nasty. I don't like it. Then I add just a packet of Splenda to make it sweeter. Splenda is 0 sugar, 0 calorie. I only do 1 packet. Sometimes I do get sensitive to fake sugars. Sensitive in a sense that I'll have digestive issues. So I like to stick to just 1 packet. And then I add almond milk and a little bit of 0 sugar, low calorie creamer. So with the creamer, it does say low calorie, but the more you add, the calories climb very, very quickly. So I just like to eyeball it a little bit and mix it all up, and it tastes so good. It tastes just like hot chocolate. Okay, maybe not exactly like hot chocolate, but it does satiate me. So this is what I drink while I'm on the treadmill getting my first 6,000 steps for the day. And I also like to take a shot of dose. So this drink is for liver support. It has turmeric in it and it's not super delicious. It tastes kind of like orange juice that's slightly more tangy. But not only is this good for my liver, but it also helps my nausea. So the thing about walking on a treadmill or a walking pad is it does make me nauseous. I also suffer from vertigo. It's genetic. My mom has it. And any little thing can set me off. So I have to be very careful with moving vehicles, how I move my body, even turning around too fast, even eye movements that I'm doing right now. It's making me a little nauseous. So this drink does help me. And I also take ginger supplements, which pretty much help me on my 15,000 steps, because they don't tell you about this, but walking pads and treadmills can cause nausea, especially if you're prone to that kind of stuff like I am. And then I also do just a small little shot of cranberry juice. I don't know if it helps me or not. Maybe it's all in my head, but I feel something. I feel like it just helps my body and it's good for high blood pressure. So I just like to add that in there. And now with my coffee in hand, I get my first 6,000 steps, which is about an hour. All throughout that, I'm drinking my coffee so that I'm energized as I'm walking. And then after I finish my 6,000 steps, I then have my very first solid meal of the day. Now there's this whole thing about intermittent fasting. Should you do it? Should you not? My answer is, do whatever you want, because if you are on a weight loss journey, at the end of the day, all that matters is your weekly calories. And I say weekly, not daily, because you can switch them around. But with intermittent fasting, the only reason it works subconsciously is that you ultimately end up eating less. That's all it is. If you skip breakfast, then you just have lunch and dinner. You're pretty much cutting out a whole meal. So that's how that concept works. But intermittent fasting won't work if you're just eating larger lunch and larger dinners. I wouldn't necessarily say I intermittently fast. I just work my food around my daily activities. So I don't eat solid food before I get my first hour on the walking pad, because I'm also training my body to operate off of nothing. And when it operates off of nothing, it uses fat storage. And these are just like the min-max things that I'm doing right now, because I'm down to the last 10, 20 pounds, depending on how I want to sculpt my body. But if you're the type of person who cannot do any type of activity without food in you, absolutely eat something, please. So my first solid meal of the day consists of high fiber oatmeal. I do have a very high fiber focus on my diet. I do suffer from glucose issues. That's one of my genetic weak points. Diabetes also runs in my family, so I'm more prone to it than the average person. I used to get hypoglycemia even when I had lost a significant amount of weight already in my weight loss journey. I would still get hypoglycemia when I don't eat something for a while. And one of the things that has helped that, and even eliminated the hypoglycemia at this point, is high fiber. And that's one of the tricks too, is that if you have something sugary or carby, have fiber with it, and it helps offset the glucose issues. You might have also heard, don't eat anything carby or sugary first thing in the morning because it'll spike your blood sugar. That's only true if you just have pure carbs. But if you have fiber, you should be, for the most part, okay. Again, depending on your genetics. For me, because I did have glucose issues, fiber helps a lot, so that's what works for me. So oatmeal is a high carb meal, which is my first meal of the day, but it's also very high fiber. So it's okay. And with that, I add these frozen blueberries for a little bit of sweetness and antioxidants. And this whole thing, carby and slightly sugary food, will help fuel my gym session. So again, I am eating based on the activity that I'm about to do next. Whereas before, when I was heavier, I would eat and sit on the couch. As you can imagine, that's not good. Food is meant to be used up. Food gives you energy to do stuff. So I love this oatmeal. It's actually very, very delicious. There's nothing fake in here, no fake sugars, no anything. And this is what I would consider a sugary treat. I know it sounds lame because it's just oatmeal and berries, but there's something satisfying about getting off the treadmill for an hour and having your first solid food, which just tastes like pure sugar, and the macros are really good. Then after this, I make my electrolyte drink. So this is my second drink of the day. I'm actually really, really awful at drinking. I'm pretty sure I don't meet the required water consumption that I'm supposed to drink. I am just so bad at drinking. And there was a time that I did force myself to drink a lot of water, to the point where I was going to the bathroom every 15 minutes. Like, I couldn't even leave the house because every 15 minutes I would need a bathroom. It was really hard to pace myself because if I paced myself, then I wouldn't be able to drink the required liquids that I was supposed to drink. So I'm doing what I'm calling intuitively drinking. I'm drinking when I'm thirsty. And that's that. Leave me alone. I'm just gonna drink when I'm thirsty. I'm already doing well with the solid foods. Leave my liquids alone. So electrolytes are very important to me because I am very active. So they help give me energy. And again, with the nausea, they do help my nausea a lot. If you suffer from chronic headaches, actually, you might have an electrolyte imbalance. So I do recommend this type of electrolyte drink. Maybe not Gatorade. I don't know entirely what's in Gatorade if they add sugar in it. But this one from Ghost, not sponsored, is particularly good. It tastes good. This is like a cherry lemon thing, and I'm really horrible with flavored drinks as well. So this is really the only thing that I can stomach. And I pretty much drink this in the gym while I'm doing my lifting session and during lunch when I have my next set of solid foods. I actually have my electrolyte right now. I just like to drink it throughout the day and the afternoon. So after the gym, I'm about to hit the Stairmaster, but before that, I have 2 hard-boiled eggs, and I just pop these real quick after a gym session just for some quick protein, a little bit of extra energy before I hit the Stairmaster. And at this point, I'm still very high energy from my breakfast. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but at this point in my weight loss journey, my body is so in tune that I know exactly the amount of food that I need for what activity I'm about to do next. And it does take a while to get to this point, so if you're feeling like you don't have enough energy for your workout, adjust your calories. Please do eat more because it does take a while for your body to kind of cooperate, I should say. So the Stairmaster is extremely intense at this point because I walk so much with the 15,000 steps and I lift heavy in the gym. I only do a 15-minute session on the Stairmaster on level 3, which is a very slow pace, but at the end of it, I am dripping in sweat, and I am not a sweaty person. I could run and run in 90-degree weather and still not sweat, but there's something about the Stairmaster. It just makes me drip so much. So if I could recommend one workout equipment, actually, I would recommend a walking pad because walking is very, very important and super effective. But if you want to kick up your cardio a little bit, Stairmaster. You don't need long on it and you don't need to go fast. And then after the Stairmaster, I am finally having lunch, starting off with salmon. So this is just a simple salmon fillet that's been in the freezer. I thawed it and I just pop it in the air fryer. And this is my source of healthy fat on top of my supplements like fish oil. It looks super boring, but it's actually so delicious to me. I didn't used to like salmon, but then I realized that the salmon that I'd been eating when I was younger was just way overcooked and super dry. I do like my salmon a little bit juicy. And of course, the salmon in restaurants usually come with a really fatty sauce. So I do get salmon in restaurants, but the sauce, I mean, when you add sauce to something, you're pretty much already guaranteeing it's not healthy. And then I also have one of my favorite, most filling snacks, which is Chobani yogurt with chia seeds. I have seen this so many times because I got a lot of fitness TikToks. I'm on that app so much. And whenever I see chia seeds, it's always chia seeds, chia seeds, chia seeds. I'm like, that looks so disgusting. It looks like bird food. And then I tried it, I put it in my yogurt, and it's delicious. It's actually delicious, and I love the texture. It's very satisfying. I'm a big texture person when it comes to my food. So this right here is enough to fuel me for the next hour of my 15,000 steps. But if it's not, and again, I'm listening to my body as well on top of calorie counting, I add just a couple of these rice cakes. These are 50 calories each. So I just go on a 50 calorie increment till I feel like I'm good and ready to go on the next hour of my steps. In this case, I'm having a couple of these, which is 100 extra calories. And since it's pure carbs and sugar, that's more than enough for me to be able to go on my next hour of my steps. So after lunch, I am on my walking pad once again for the next hour, which is another 6,000 steps. And once I'm done, I move on to other activities. Maybe I'm editing a video. Maybe I'm working on some orders. Maybe I'm just sitting around scrolling on TikTok because I'm tired and I just want to rest and turn my brain off. I shower, do all that stuff, take care of my dogs, and then I'm ready for dinner. For dinner, I have Piedmontese steak. You can order this online. They ship it to you frozen, so I just have a bunch of these in the freezer. Each of these are 200 calories, very low calorie, super high protein, and super delicious. I just add my favorite seasoning on there, pop it in the air fryer, and you're good to go. It's also important for my meals to be prepared very quickly. I do love to cook, but I cook for George, my husband, and that's the only time I really enjoy cooking. I only enjoy cooking when I'm cooking for someone else, especially for my husband because I love him so much. I cannot cook for myself. When I cook for myself, I get bored. I feel like I'm eating as I'm cooking, so it kind of takes away from the whole meal. So my meals, I just need them to be readily prepared. A lot of my stuff is frozen. I just pop it in the air fryer. And then I have my favorite snack, which is popcorn. I love popcorn, and I love that it's also healthy. I can eat a lot of it. And this is what keeps my binge eating brain at bay. So with the binge eating brain, you want to eat everything. You want to eat everything all at once. Sometimes you even have an out-of-body experience, like, I don't even remember eating that. What happened? You look at the carnage, you're like, was that me? Who was it? It wasn't me, it was Patricia, I don't know. So the thing about popcorn is it's large quantity for little calories, and that's what keeps my binge eating brain happy, where I can eat a lot of something, just hand to mouth motion for very low calories, and it fits my calorie deficit. So with my Piedmontese, I have my popcorn, and steak and popcorn might sound weird, but they actually taste really good together. And then I have my favorite soda, which is diet ginger ale. 0 calories, 0 sugar. I love diet soda. I don't care what anybody says. There's this whole thing about diet soda is bad for you, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Don't talk to me, because diet soda is everything to me. I love diet soda, diet ginger ale, diet Coke, Diet Pepsi. I just had Diet Pepsi 2 hours ago. Diet soda is actually good for you in a bunch of other ways. Number one being the most dangerous thing you can put in your body is a lot of sugar, especially sugar that you're not going to use up if you're sedentary. Diet soda satiates you. It gives you that kick. It gives you that carbonated satisfaction without the calories and without the sugar. So if you love diet soda, just drink it. Don't listen to anybody who says it's bad. Coming from me, I have lost almost 80 pounds. It's amazing. My husband, who's a bodybuilder, he'll drink cans and cans of it a day. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you from our experiences that diet sodas are one of the best inventions ever. It keeps the cravings at bay. It satiates us. And if it's something that helps you, that can satisfy your craving and help you lose weight, then drink it. So my usual soda choice in my day-to-day is ginger ale because, again, the nausea, and it helps my digestive issues. I do suffer from digestive issues, which I think are genetic at this point because I've been suffering from digestive issues since I was a kid, even when I wouldn't eat anything. And of course, made it even worse with my hot Cheeto addiction, which I'm going to talk about in a separate video. But hot Cheetos was such a thing for me. I would have multiple bags a day, multiple. And it just destroyed my insides. But even after all of that, here in my fitness journey, once in a while, I get digestive issues, even if I eat the same thing every day. So it's just something that haunts me. And ginger ale is just one of those things that helps that. It's not medicine, but it helps. And it tastes good, and it helps my nausea and my cravings. So it's a win-win. And then the rest of my calories are supplements like pills, fish oil, vitamins, things like that. So you're probably wondering, do I ever drink water? Just plain water? Yes, I do. Although admittedly, very little. Again, I'm really bad at drinking. My liquids are coffee, electrolytes, which is mostly water anyway, and ginger ales. The only time I probably drink plain water is when I'm taking my supplements. But yeah, I guess I don't really drink that much plain water. I'm not encouraging that behavior. That's just what works for me. So let's backtrack and count some calories here. So for breakfast with oatmeal, blueberries, and the 2 hard-boiled eggs, that is 310 calories. My lunch with salmon, yogurt, chia seeds, and give or take a couple rice cakes, that's 360 to 460 calories. And then for dinner with the Piedmontese and popcorn, we're not counting the ginger ale, that's 0 calories. I am at 475 calories for dinner. And the rest of my calories are allotted to supplements, the things I put in my coffee, the little almond milk, the creamer, things like that. So overall, my day-to-day calories range from 1,300 to 1,500. Sometimes I'll go over 1,500, again, depending on how weak I feel when I'm about to go to the gym or when I'm about to get my steps in. So I just kind of feel it there. But on average, I'm at about, let's just say 1400 for the day. So Friday, Saturday, Sundays are a little bit different. So what I just told you guys is Monday through Thursday. And then Friday, I have the same thing except for dinner. I don't have the Piedmontese, and instead I have a very large bowl of popcorn and protein chips. So weekends are basically when George and I hang out and watch our favorite shows. So when I watch a show, I need to be eating something. That is like one of my worst habits that I have learned to kick since I've been on a health journey. But it is still something that I do enjoy, so I allow myself to do that over the weekend. And when we're watching our favorite show, like for instance, we just finished Yellow Jackets and Severance, amazing shows, I have my giant bowl of popcorn and protein chips, and this lasts me an hour at least. And I'm just sitting there eating it. I eat it very slowly to make it last. And this is also what helps keep the binge eating monster at bay. We still have to pay tribute to the binge eating monster, but we're gonna do it in a healthy, controlled way. We're not gonna give it exactly what it wants, but we're gonna give it enough to keep her happy, to keep her from screaming and eating everything in the house. In this case, this giant bowl of popcorn and protein chips is more than enough to keep the binge eating monster satiated. So this bowl is 665 calories. It is a larger meal compared to my other ones, which is why we're looking at the entire week instead of day by day. So Fridays and Sundays are the same. My morning to afternoon, I eat the same things that I just outlined. And then at night, I have that giant bowl of popcorn and protein chips. And then Saturdays are extra special because George and I go to KBBQ, all you can eat Korean barbecue. So this is beneficial for several reasons. Number one, it is protein, 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 protein. We get a bunch of beef meats. We have brisket, we have seasoned beef, and we just alternate between the two. We just say, keep them coming until we're full. And then we also get steamed eggs. So the egg added protein, very delicious. In my case, I don't have any carbs during this KBBQ feast compared to George, who gets not one, not two, but 3 bowls of rice. And I'm over here with my no carb, but that's just a choice I made. I can obviously incorporate carbs, but I don't need it. I don't feel like I need the extra energy. And I actually really love the meat by itself. It's really good. So we pretty much feel this out till we're full, and we estimated the calories to be about 1,000. At least for me. For him, it's different. He's on a different diet. But for me, it's about 1,000 for this whole meal. And that's pretty much all I eat for the afternoon. And then I don't eat again till nighttime, where I have yet another large bowl of popcorn with the protein chips combo. So stretching it out over this entire week, where not every day is exactly the same, I average at about 1,300 to 1,500 calories a day. Some days, especially when I'm in my luteal phase, PMSing, you know the deal, and I feel weaker, I will add an extra 100 to 200 calories depending on how I feel and how I expect to perform in the gym or get my steps in. So maybe one day I'd have 1,600 calories or so. But this is just an example of how I'm not incredibly restrictive, and the reason why I can be a little bit loose with my calories despite being towards the end of my fitness journey where I'm almost at maintenance is because of my activity level. So we hear the word 1,200 calories a lot. It's like the holy grail of calorie deficits, but it really, really depends on your build, genetics, and again, your activity levels. If I could give one advice, if you want to eat more, if you cannot stick to a low calorie deficit, get your steps in. At least 10,000. 10,000 is the minimum. Everyone should be doing that. It doesn't matter if you're on a weight loss journey or not. It's just really healthy to constantly move your body. That's what we're made for. We're made for that kind of stuff. We're animals at the end of the day. But if you want to kick it up a notch, do 12,000, work up to 15,000. You can even do 20,000. There are people who are doing 30,000. I tried, couldn't do it. I'm willing to admit defeat. I can't stick to 20,000 either. Actually, if I'm being honest, I did 20,000 steps for 36 days straight. It was amazing. And the weight was just dropping off, and I was eating Bridge Mix, my favorite chocolate. Bridge Mix is an additional 2,200 calories. So obviously gotta move more. And I also wasn't losing a pound a week. When I was doing that, I was losing maybe a half a pound a week. But then walking 20,000 steps again is where I meet my genetic shortcomings, My knees were hurting. My ankles were hurting. Maybe doing 20,000 steps every single day, on top of going to the gym, on top of the Stairmaster, on a calorie deficit, will take a toll on me bones. So I cut it down to 15,000, removed the 2,200 extra calories of bridge mix, and I'm now losing a pound a week again. We're revving it up, scales moving again, and I'm able to be more loose with the rest of my calories. So when you look at diets, don't look at it as a set in stone thing. Don't look at it as, I have to do this, I have to stick to this. You adjust it based on your activity level, your genetics, how you're feeling. Again, I mentioned earlier that I have glucose issues, so I have to eat high fiber stuff. If you don't have high glucose issues and you don't like fiber, maybe fiber gives you stomach issues, you don't have to eat as much fiber as me. It's all about experimenting. You just trial and error, that's all it is. And one of the biggest things I learned, especially as a recovering binge eater, or I should really say, binge eating manager. Again, we're managing it, not curing it, is that I don't have to be afraid of food. I don't have to be afraid to add a little bit of extra calories if I need to. I listen to my body at this point in my weight loss journey. I'm almost 2 years in. I am in tune with my body. If I feel even a little bit something off, I'm quick to notice it because I just pay a lot more attention now to what my body needs. And of course, my activity levels, those are priority. I do love building muscle in the gym. Why am I flexing? You can't even see. Never mind, but they're there, okay? I just don't have a pump right now, but I do love lifting really heavy in the gym and building muscle, even girly muscles, as they say. So with my activity levels, I make wiser choices when it comes to my food. You can lose weight eating junk food as long as you eat in a calorie deficit, but the question is that gonna accommodate your activity levels? If you wanna go to the gym, is eating a bag of chips beforehand, even if it's less calories than a chicken salad, gonna fuel your gym session? If you are sedentary, which I understand is majority of people's lives, especially working, being stuck in an office, you might want to consider low carb foods. Keto has been thrown around a lot. The reason why keto no longer works for me, I did used to be keto when I worked in an office and I dropped a lot of weight on keto. But the reason why it doesn't work for me now is I need extra energy for my steps and the gym. And what fuels those? Carbs. But if you are sedentary, try keto. Research it, of course, don't just jump into it. Or if you can't do full keto, do very low carb. So basically, if you are sedentary and you still want to lose weight, but maybe can't get your steps in or can't be as active, low carb, focus on high protein foods. Just think of it as carbs and sugar are fuel for you to move your body. And if you're not moving your body, don't eat those. Just eat meat. Meat is honestly amazing. If you're a vegetarian or vegan, I'm sorry, I don't really have any advice. I wouldn't consider myself a fitness expert or fitness influencer where I can kind of give advice to every group of people. I'm a meat eater. I love meat. And if I could just eat one thing, if I could pick one thing to eat and nothing else again, it would be beef. But that's just an example of how you can adjust your diet if you are sedentary. Because people who move more, like athletes, or maybe you have a job where you're on your feet a lot, you're running around the floor, what have you, you can't eat carbs and sugar and you will burn that off. This is also what I eat in a week now, which isn't to say it's not going to change in the future. I've already changed it. Again, in one of my videos, I talked about eating bridge mix every single week. So now I've changed my mind and readjusted. Nothing is set in stone. If you do go on a calorie deficit, don't pressure yourself and think, oh, this is it for me. This is just my life. You can adjust. I do want to put a little disclaimer out there that I'm not a nutritionist or a doctor. This is just what works for me and advice that I've gotten from George. He's a bodybuilder and he has done all this research himself. He's actually super knowledgeable with this stuff and he has gifted me with that knowledge as well. And honestly, a lot of fitness influencers out there who tell you to do A, B, C, D, it's kind of BS. It's honestly BS. Especially if a video starts with, if you want toned abs, do this. There's more to it than that. You can't just tell people that if you do this weird, funny looking exercise, that they're gonna get abs. And remember that this is a health journey. Yes, we all care about how we look. I, of course, care about how I look. I feel a lot more confident being in this new, more fit body. But after a series of bad doctor test results a couple years ago, I thought to myself, I should really get myself healthy, fix my macros. Yes, I can lose weight eating junk food as long as I'm in a calorie deficit, but Is that good for my overall health? Are they gonna fuel my workouts? Am I gonna be able to walk 15,000 steps on those? And the reason why it's important to look at a calorie deficit on a weekly stretch instead of day by day is, let's say over the weekend, there's a birthday party or you have to go to an event, maybe it's a work event and everybody's eating, and yeah, you can be that person that's like, oh, I'm on a diet, I can't eat that. Or if you do want to participate, you can eat with your coworkers or with your friends, especially if it's a birthday. Nobody wants a bummer on their birthday who's like staring at everybody else eating cake and you're not participating. There's this whole thing about, don't force yourself to eat if you don't want to. Absolutely. But if it's an event and of course you want to participate, please do that and just look at the calories you're consuming and adjust it for the rest of the week so that after your entire week is done, you're still in a calorie deficit. And am I happy with the food that I'm eating? The answer is absolutely yes. This is another revelation I had in my fitness journey. I am not miserable. I actually really love my food. Someone looking at this would probably think that's so boring. Plain salmon with no seasoning, disgusting. You might as well be eating cardboard. Oatmeal. You might as well be eating cardboard. Popcorn, little pieces of cardboard. But actually, I really love it. I do. And trust me, I'm a binge eater, addicted to hot Cheetos. Again, I always will be. I don't really want to say I was a binge eater. I am, and these are the foods that help me. They help my activity levels. They actually taste great. I'm not even making that up. And I think it's because I've been eating them for so long that I'm just used to them. And again, I'm not super restrictive. I have Korean barbecue, which I know has oil and sauce and whatever. I factor all that into my weekly calories, and I have that every single week. So I really don't feel deprived. So yes, coming on up on my 2-year fitness journey, I feel amazing. I feel a lot more confident. I'm also incredibly fit in the gym. I find myself lifting heavier and heavier, which is, it's just such a positive metric for me because it's true what they say. You do get addicted to the gym. It's no wonder that these gym bros are just getting larger and larger. I mean, I'm married to one. So I'm very excited to have been on this journey for 2 years now and still going. So that is what I eat in a week, which cater to my activity levels. This is also my very first video dedicated to fitness and my fitness life. I do want to do more of these videos just to help those who are just like me. Binge eaters, short girls who have no wiggle room in their diet. So I will be doing more of these videos as a way to help people, but also to just kind of get my own fitness journey out there and show you guys what I've gone through, what I've been through, especially those of you who have watched me from the very, very beginning and have watched me change a lot. So thank you guys for watching and for following me on my entire fitness journey. I do post a lot more about it on Instagram, and I'll see you on the next one.